Hello friends, this is Dr. Aiman, Assistant Professor of English at Jaipal College, Jaipal University, Chapra. Today we will discuss Ben Jonson. Ben Jonson was one of Shakespeare's greatest admirers, and much of what we know of Shakespeare comes from Jonson's comradely reminiscences. Jonson was a university-educated man and probably believed that he was more intellectual than Shakespeare, while Shakespeare was a more natural kind of genius. Nonetheless, Jonson's comedies typically accommodate to the new Aristotelian unities. According to this doctrine, the events of a play must be contained in a single day, which is the unity of time. The events must take place in one location, which is the unity of place, and the play must not contain subplots or too many digressions, which is unity of action. Even though he was a neoclassicist, in such plays as Bartholomew Fair, Jonson depicted contemporary London with a documentary vividness that is not found in other dramatists. One can almost smell the wood-burning fires and sewage of early 17th century London. Jonson brings us into a world we know from nursery rhymes, with London Bridge and church bells ringing throughout the city. The early 17th century, as Karl Marx observed, was the birth of the capitalist era, and Jonson's major theme was money. Jonson did not approve of the new mercantile focus of society, and the foundation of his play, The Alchemist, is a satire on the rush for wealth. He believed that the contemporary stampede for money was akin to the promise of the alchemist's stone to transform base metals into precious metals. The Alchemist was first performed in 1610. The play is set in fashionable residential London during one of the city's recurrent outbreaks of plague. Such epidemics occurred regularly in the summer months, spread by rat fleas, though at the time it was thought that the plague was carried out in the air. The setting of the play ties in with a kind of diseased moral climate as well. It's not just that the epidemic is a physical illness, but it's something that goes deep into the fabric of the age. Jonson's play, a wealthy man, Loveway, has left his townhouse in the care of his maestro domo, the master of the household. This man, named Face, exhibits different faces depending on what the situation requires. Face conspires with a common called Subtle, who pretends to be an alchemist. Alchemy, as you all may be knowing, was sometimes called the process of subtilizing or refining. The third member of this conspiracy is a prostitute named Doll Common. This trio sets out to run a scam on the fools left in the city. They will let it be known that Subtle has found the philosopher's stone and has mastered the process of transmuting base metals into gold. The grand mastery of alchemy will, in fact, be available to anyone who pays for it. Puritans, shopkeepers, respectable citizens, and aristocrats all line up to get rich, while the tricksters compete to be the best shark. Face, Subtle, and Doll encourage their victims' wild fantasies of wealth. One example, Sir Epicure Mammon, serves to illustrate the theme. The name Epicure indicates this character's addiction to pleasures of the flesh, and Mammon means money. Sir Mammon wants to be rich, and he wants to indulge his appetites on a gigantic scale. Mammon imagines the wonderful universe of self-indulgence he will inhabit when he gets the fool's gold. His speech here is reminiscent of a speech by Marlowe's Faustus when he has Mephistopheles call up Helen of Troy for his bed partner. Jonson outdoes even Marlowe in the lavishness and glowiness, richness of his blank verse. But most of all, this speech conveys a biting satire on human greed. Money is the root, not just of all evil, but of all human foolishness. The Alchemist ends with a wonderfully ironic stroke of theatre. Out of the blue, Loveway, the master of the house, returns and witnesses the criminal activity that has been going on in the household. Does he punish the wicked trio and return the victim's cash? No, he laughs good-heartedly and congratulates Face and pockets the profit. Human nature, Jonson tells us, is the same from top to bottom. Cash is God. Thank you so much.